again, this is our weekly live session that we're going to be doing weekly. Try to do it every Wednesday at around 8:45. That's generally when we start kind of winding down, and we can lay the little one down so we don't have to worry about her grabbing the camera and everything else. Let me pull up this live video so that I can watch the comments.
I don't think nobody can hear you. You're not talking loud enough. Oh gosh.
What in the world is going on?
Let's scoot this one closer. Oh. Vibrating.
Okay, now it's almost there. It's almost there.
You got it?
Yeah. But I don't remember how we looked at the comments.
You gotta go to. I don't know.
I think I looked at them on there. That's what I did.
No, you didn't. Telling you didn't. You had my phone in your hand because you was watching the comments as they came through.
I don't remember.
Okay, whatever. Let's just get going.
I don't remember how.
What are we gonna talk about?
Can everybody hear us?
See, you're gonna have to do that to see the comments.
That's how I did it last week,
I'm
baby.
telling you, you did not.
It won't show
Okay.
me the comments. You figure it out.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hey guys. Hey Chris. Hey Joe. Hey Bama Mowers. No, we say War Eagle around here. Good. Glad you can hear. Obviously, me and Brad can't figure this. We did it good last week, and now I don't remember how. I think this is how I was doing it, but
I promise you was not touching the screen last week.
I don't really remember what we done. But anyway, so we'll get started and just kind of talk about some random stuff. I know you guys have probably.
Just like that.
How did you do that? Okay, look.
Well,
See?
don't be showing the phone into the. You're blocking your face.
I'm not. No, that's cool. Got a notification instantly for your live. That's awesome. Glad you got that notification. We don't know how these lives work really on YouTube because we've not done a whole lot of them.
We're already off to a great start.
Yeah, we're already arguing 5 seconds into it.
What's new?
But anyway, so let's see. Good to see you guys on YouTube, live on YouTube. Thanks, Chris. Anyway, we'll just kind of start going through what we've been. Dallas, you sound a little under the weather.
Babe, quit reading.
No offense, just saying. Hope you feel better. No, I'm good. The kid just laid down, so I'm trying to not be really loud. So that's all that is.
Yeah,
and usually I'm really, really loud.
Just trying not to wake Maggie up.
Yeah, she just laid down and she was actually whining right before you came in here. So try not to.
And we just ate Mexican food too, so I'm really full. If it sounds like I'm breathing harder than normal.
Yeah.
Which I already breathe hard.
Yeah. But anyway, we will...
trying to lay off the Christmas tree cakes. Christmas tree cakes and eggnog. And Dallas gets the jumbo Christmas tree cakes the other day.
Well, I thought the jumbo just meant it came with more, not that they were twice the size.
Yeah.
They're really big Christmas tree cakes. We love Christmas tree cakes around here. We buy them weekly. And white chocolate covered Oreos. We love them. But anyway, we'll go ahead and kind of get started and go through our YouTube videos the last week or so and kind of do a recap there. What have we posted this week? We moved.
We got the car moved last night. Got it posted this morning.
Well, we got the rat rod first.
Yeah, we got to... Did we talk about that on the show, the live last week?
When did we do that?
I don't think we did because
no,
we done
that Friday. Yeah, we done that Friday. So
you guys have seen us get the rat rod out of the weeds. Kind of, my vision for that is sort of like a, I don't know. When I was building it, I was just building it out of square tubing, and like I said in the video, I don't know why I built it out of 1/8 inch square tubing. I mean, you're gonna need a cat motor to be able to pull that thing. So I think my plan is to cut the square tubing off and kind of rebuild it with sheet metal rather than having a true metal frame inside it. You know, at that time I didn't have all the sheet metal tools that we got now, so not saying I can do it. I'm just saying that I think that I would be more happy with it that way. So
right.
We'll see how that goes, and then so. Recently, though, with the rat rod, I found out that you can't find any 14-inch pull-offs. I was going to just try to find some pull-off tires to bolt on it to roll it around and be able to keep it in and out of the shop, in and out of the way and everything. And obviously you can't find used 14-inch tires. So that's a whole different story there. The next video we posted was the one from last night where we got the car moved over.
Seen somebody commenting on Facebook asking if we were getting a new car.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely
not in the picture we're at now
not
that
right
we know
now.
of.
Yeah, so we just got to do some work on Dallas's car and had to get the shop cleaned up. So it's gonna be kind of cold this weekend. Don't want to work on it outside. So we're gonna try to get it in there in the morning and hopefully get the CV axles and wheel bearings changed out tomorrow with no issues, and we're able to go test drive it tomorrow evening and use it this weekend. So, because diesel fuel seems to be going back up. So,
yeah, we're going to Blue Ridge this weekend for like a family vacation, and we're going to ride the train through Blue Ridge on Sunday. So we're excited about that. One of our first vacations since racing season's been over. We went camping during racing season, but our first vacation, and then...
You go on too many vacations a year, so I don't know. I can't keep up.
Baby, you gotta live life a little. And then we're going camping in a couple of weeks.
So the hottest topic today, I feel like, is the Scott Blinkless on the Dale Jr. download. What did everyone think of that? I thought, I was excited about it. I was ready to hear it, but I kind of described that to somebody today as it was hilarious. It was serious, and then it was just had you saying, "What in the world?" But I mean, I thought it was interesting. I enjoyed it, and he actually talked about in there starting his own podcast show, and I would definitely, I think I'd definitely tune in and listen to that if he did. So
Scott Blunkett talked about it.
Yes. He said there would be some warnings for younger age people not to be able to watch it or listen to it or nothing like that. I think it'd be interesting.
Brad's always been a fan of Blunkett. It's always been one of his top.
For his innovation. I like the way I like that about him.
Yeah. So. I've never liked anything about it. I'm not a Scott Blunkett fan, never have been, but...
Well, you either like him or you hate him.
I don't hate him. I just think I don't really care. Somebody said, bad A interview. Somebody said, just don't go into cigar-shaped chips.
Yes, that's right. I'll be sure to make a note of that mentally.
Because obviously everybody's going to do it. That's what he said.
That's what he said. He said you're going to run into it at one point. So.
All right, so somebody said, how did the race season go?
It went good. We ended up knocking the championship off there at Talladega, and we ended with 7 total wins, 6 at Talladega, 7 total second place finishes, 6 at Talladega. And then I don't know, as far as the rest of it goes, I think we had like 2 or 3 DNFs or DNSs actually, and it wasn't a bad year. So it could always be better though, for sure.
Yeah. Patrick says yes. Sorry, used to your. Patrick said yes. Sorry, used to your racetrack voice. Yeah, I was just trying to be a little bit more quiet. I don't want to wake the crazy thing up in there.
The camera will be getting knocked over then.
We'll be getting knocked out of our chair if we're being honest. She's a little bit crazy.
She was wild.
Yeah. Pictures clear and volume's good. Good. Y'all coming to the Ice Bowl this year?
We plan to be at Hickory for the car show. It's kind of like similar to PRI, just not the scale of PRI. So I know that's the same exact weekend of the Ice Bowl, but that's our plan, is to be there.
Somebody said, just keep eating those cakes, Brad. You won't need extra left side weight.
Bad thing is I don't have any right now. So if I keep eating the cakes, I'm just going to gain too much. Problem's going to be the seat. I got to start worrying about the seat fitting.
Well, I got to worry about the seat, got to worry about the suit, got to worry about the...
Well, I'm getting a new suit.
Puns.
You said I was going to get a new suit, so...
I mean, we got to work on that at some point, but
I just can't get a bigger suit every time.
Exactly. I'm not ordering you one when you're trying to lose weight.
Y'all tell her that the best time to get up and go to the gym is at 4 o'clock in the morning. She keeps wanting to argue with me about that, and if I wait till 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm not going to do it. If I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go do it, I'm gonna do
And I'm more than likely gonna do it in the afternoon. In the mornings, I
it.
am not a morning
Look at
person.
that. He is right.
I'm not a morning. I know it probably makes you feel so. I know it makes you feel better throughout the day, and I know it gets you more motivated. But I am not a morning
I
person.
made a full-fledged commitment. When I graduated, 09? So how long ago has that been? About 12 years ago. I made a full-fledged commitment 12 years ago that I was never going to work out again a day of my life because I hated every minute of it when I done it for football. And for 12 years, I've pretty much held true to that commitment. But
you've never been in the gym since I've been around. It's been 10 years. No, 11 years.
It's definitely getting time to make a change. So
we started a little gym in our garage out here, and
yeah, that didn't work too good.
We went out there maybe 3 or 4 days, and
like
we were
I
done
said,
with that.
We was waiting till 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening.
But anyway, let's see. Somebody asked, ever think about letting her try her hand at driving?
Who, you? No, not at all. No, she's tried to drive the car up and down the driveway, and she can't.
I can.
You can now.
I can.
But it took a while for her to get used to the clutch and all that. So I don't think we're gonna do that. I really don't think she wants to either. Nah. Just to be honest, no, that's not just me saying that. I really, truly think she don't want to.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I never would want to. I don't want to as of right now. I'm perfectly fine being the crew chief. We don't really have one of those, but we'll say that. Patrick said anybody that wins, if I'm not mistaken, a heat racer, B main with a left front tire hanging off the car definitely has to be respected at the very least.
No doubt.
Oh, I respect him, but I just don't like him. Somebody said she should go totally blind. I'm trying not to. It's too expensive trying to let this blonde grow out.
Give her another week. She'll change her hair color.
Shut up. Scott Blinkwas is awesome. One heck of a driver. He is that. Even if you don't like him, I mean, the last couple of years he struggled, but I don't think that's really anything to do with, I think that's a lot of health issues that he's had. Somebody said, so what colors are you going with next year? I vote blue and black.
More than likely it'll still be white and black just because it's cheaper. That's the more simple you can keep it, the cheaper it's going to be. So, I do like, like probably my favorite color is the fluorescent yellow, but I do like it mixed with the blue. But, just the price of stuff, it's much cheaper. Just stay one color, black, keep it simple, and go on about your way.
Yeah, wraps are crazy expensive. Patrick said me and Whitney go at 5 when she gets off. That's my kind of gym time right there.
I'll never do it.
No, he'll be like, I'm going to go home and eat supper and sit down on the couch.
I'm going to eat supper and sit down and watch TV, or I'm going to go shop, one of the two.
Hi, beautiful family from Florida. Thank you, John. We appreciate it.
Hey, John.
Crew Chief said Dallas can be the driver for Chris's new race car he's working on. That'd be the only way I'd ever get in a race car, because I promise you Chris would let me. He wouldn't care.
I thought he's done told you.
Yeah, he said it's going to be me, Chris, and Joel
it's swapping
drivers. It's going to be
a community car.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd ever want to be in a race car that Chris has built. I'd probably be pretty scared of it, to be honest. If you've seen any of his his innovations.
What do we used to call berry rigging?
Berry rigging. That man, I'm telling you, we're gonna have to compile a video and do all of his berry rigging stuff.
We'd break YouTube.
It would be awesome. That's an idea. Keep it up there. All right. Gunmetal gray and gold.
I like gold race cars, but that once again that goes to the price. I mean, it's just so much more expensive.
Yeah, I'm not a gold fan.
And I don't like dark race cars either, like a black car.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason behind that is, when you're looking at a black race car, especially flat black, gloss black, something like that, you see the dents way more. I mean, look at our filler panel. You can see all the dings from the rocks and everything. Whereas white car, you may see it if you're standing right up next to it or whatever, but from the grandstands or a distance, you can't see the dents as bad.
Mm-hmm. What was the questions we had? 2 questions we had.
Oh man, I forgot to look them up. I know one of them asked me if I listened to Rick and Bubba.
The other one was how many wins in the Capitol.
Okay, I'm glad you remembered that. Yes, I do listen to Rick and Bubba. I don't listen to it now as much as I did. Used to. I listen to it every single day. I've actually been there and watched the show live in the golden ticket seats before. Would like to do that again, but yes, that's one radio show that I do listen to as much as I can. But like I said, I don't get to listen to it now as much as I did.
And the other question was, how many wins do you have in your Capitol?
We got 7 this year. What did we have last year? 5 or 6?
I don't remember. It was like...
It's over 10. Over 10, less than 15.
Yeah, we've had it a year. A little more than a year, not... When did we get it? Like August?
Yeah, roughly.
Of 21?
End of the summer last year.
Yeah, so we haven't had it very long. We got to get to the... Patrick said we got to go to the show again soon.
Yeah, I think they only do it on Fridays now, though, if I'm not mistaken.
But I can go now.
Yeah,
not that I care, and not that I
right.
listen to it, but no, or not. I like it. I'm not a big talk radio fan.
No, that's what I was about to say. Talk show.
Yeah, I don't. Speaking of talk shows, what are some of your favorite podcasts that you listen to? You kind of already said the Del you download.
I think that's the top of the list. I mean, the guests that he has as far as the history of the sport and all that. I mean, it's hard to top what he's able to do there. Of course, Door Bumper Clear, I like them. Really don't listen to many podcasts, just mainly them 2. I try to listen to those 2 every week. I like Door Bumper Clear because I don't actually have to watch the NASCAR race to kind of know what's going on with NASCAR, and I don't watch NASCAR, don't care for NASCAR the way I used to.
Thanks to Hank for turning you on to that podcast.
Yeah, and but I can still listen to that podcast and hear the behind the scenes from the spotters and all that, and still kind of know what's going on. So
and get their take,
right.
Kind of get the inside scoop of what's going on with NASCAR. Somebody said I like the original look with no wrap.
Yes, I like it clean and simple. That's
kind of why we went to that, was because you always kind of see the villain.
Yeah, like in wrestling when they're black, like the NWO, they're black and white.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I like.
And there was a bunch of drama going on that year, so we were like, yeah, let's embrace it. Yeah. There's always drama. It's racing, though. That's just how that works. Biggest race planned for next year? Maybe something you haven't ran before or something.
Nothing set in stone right now. I mean, we kind of take races as they come. We don't really. I wish we would set a schedule and actually go by that schedule, but it just it never works out for us to set a schedule. So.
And the thing too, right now we're still kind of limbo.
Limbo on what route we're going to go as far as what class to run. So we'll just have to. If I went out on a limb right now, I'd try to find like any races that's close to us, so like a crate race, paying 5,000 to 10,000 win. So, I mean, that's just kind of a rant. That's just kind of a general answer, I guess.
Yeah. Somebody said the Red Farm interview was phenomenal. Second was Scott Blomquist. I agree about DBC. Somebody said, do you think Larry Shaw cars can compete good against Capitals and Rockets?
If I'm not mistaken, is Larry Shaw building new late models now? Did they start back building new cars? I mean it. Realistically, they're all just metal tubing. They're bars, so the big thing now is technology. It's just the support that you get, if that makes sense. So I don't see why they couldn't if they've started back. I think I read that they've started back. So if they've started back and they've got good support and they're getting back up to date on their technology and all that, I don't see why they couldn't. But, I don't know enough about them to say that.
And that's the biggest that's the biggest thing in racing. Period. Is most cars out there are great cars. It's just the support you get behind those cars may not be great. You may be having problems with, front end geometry, and if you can't get feedback from that car builder, it's not going to be a very good race car. But if you get in with somebody that you can talk to and that you can get information on, you're probably going to have a pretty good piece. That's the biggest thing.
And support. And that's all it boils down to, support.
And we've kind of talked about this in our YouTube videos before. Support is something that's extremely hard to find these days. Mm-hmm. You cannot find support. We have found great support with Bryn with Penske, Rick at RPI. Yep. We've had several people that we've had great support from. But other than that, it's hard.
Yep.
It's hard to find that support. That's what's hurting a lot of racers. Let's see. I'll listen to DBC to keep up with NASCAR from it.
Same here.
Patrick said 604 more races and more opportunities.
I agree.
We have our choice. That's the route we're going to go. The NASCAR Scene with drivers and crew members from NASCAR Pass is a great series of interviews here on YouTube.
I'll have to check it out. I don't guess I've seen that.
Which we really don't listen to. We really don't watch a whole lot of YouTube. We watch a couple of channels.
Yeah, I mean, we try to watch a little bit, but, we don't watch as much as we probably could.
Yeah. What is a couple of channels that you like watching on YouTube?
Man, Japan's. He does like custom metal fabrication and all that, and shows you how to like make homemade bead rollers and sheet metal brakes, and I can sit there and watch his channel all day long. And any of the racing channels, Hunt Front, Tim Nash, all those guys.
Ryan Missler.
Yeah, Ryan.
Chase Holland. We kind of watch a little bit of everybody.
Right. There's quite a few channels that I like to watch, but like I said, I don't get to sit down and watch them like I'd like to.
There was a guy that you watched out of Mississippi that was building a street stock. He was pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, he was interesting, but I can't remember his name. I hadn't watched him lately, and
I don't remember his name.
And then of course Cowboy Kent. And if you don't know who Cowboy Kent is, you need to look him up. I mean, we made some fried chicken the other day, some fried chicken sandwiches, and man, that stuff was awesome.
It was really good.
Matter of fact, got both of his cookbooks in there in the kitchen. So
got them for Christmas last year. Let's see. I get memories from Little River Speedway on Facebook. I got memories from Little River Speedway on Facebook the other day. Pretty sure I seen Brad in the drivers' meeting pictures. Do you remember that?
Little River Speedway? Where was that at?
I don't know. I don't remember that racetrack.
I'm not sure.
We've been to a lot of them, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember a Little River.
Cooper said hello. Hey, Coop. The DK Ulrich who is that?
What?
DK Ulrich is a funny interview on the NASCAR Scene bought here on YouTube.
DK. I don't know.
I don't know who that
I
is.
have to look that up too.
You need a team car. What does that mean?
I don't know. I took it as meaning another car. I don't know about that.
I don't know. The Minor Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched the Minor Boys.
Bo and Heath.
2 questions. Brad's favorite trophy on the shelf behind him.
Well, I guess that one, because that one says the word champion. I would definitely, but then the blue one's pretty cool, because that was 5th in the national.
Is it locked?
You gotta spin this. think.
Just kind of pan it up so
Yeah, that big blue in there.
Over there.
That was fifth with the. It wasn't the national.
It was a weekly.
It wasn't the national touring points, but it was the weekly points for Neesmith that year. The same year we won the championship. So, I guess it'd be those two trophies for now. We need to add to it.
Yeah, we do. We really do. His other question was, what trophy on the shelf do you think was the point where everyone was like, okay, Bradbury's the real deal? LOL.
I don't think I got one.
When we start winning them 5, 6,
when
7...
I start putting some bigger cardboard checks on the wall, then we'll talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. What is that on me? Hey guys, do you have any more questions? If not, we'll start trying to wrap this thing up. We're not getting as many questions this week as we did last week, so we'll never prepare well enough.
What about JD winning the World Finals? Has he hasn't had much success at Charlotte, has he?
I don't think so.
I didn't think he. I know the year we went, he seemed like he didn't have much luck that year we went and watched. But
baby, I've slept since then.
I mean, you're the JD fan. You're the one that's supposed to know about all this.
I don't keep up with. I'm not Joel. Joel keeps up with all the stats. He knows what underwear that person was wearing that day, where they started. I don't know any of that. I don't even know your stats. So I definitely don't know.
Okay.
Somebody else's stats. Patrick said, I have to disagree that 15th to 3rd in a huge crate race was a head turner for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that was... I mean, that...
Let's talk about that night a little bit. That was my perspective, that was a really big night as far as for our race team, because we bolted on old tires, not good tires, because we were like, we're starting 15th, it's probably going to be a start and stop.
What happened, that was the night, that was Salute to America night, you know, and anybody that knows anything about Talladega knows that that's when at the time it was Neesmith, I think it's Great USA, whatever it is now, they came to town, and for whatever reason, anytime they would come to town, I would struggle for qualifying. I could not qualify to save my life. So we had a terrible qualifying effort, started back middle of the heat race, didn't make the heat race transfer, ran a B main. I think we was one of the last couple of cars to transfer through a B main. Track was really rough that night. Of course, that was the year we was running for points championship as well. I was frustrated, just had pretty much hung up hopes right there and said, screw it. Just bolted on some old junk tires. I think we started like, 16th, 15th, 16th, somewhere in there.
Patrick said 15th. We don't know.
Yeah, and I had told everybody, you know, don't worry about taking no tires to hot pit. Just stay on the outside of the track. I'm going to make about 5-6 laps, get start money, get some points, and I was pulling off, and crap, 5 laps into it, next thing I know, I'm passing people, and I was like, well, shout out to Adam Golden. He was right in front of me, and he was the points leader at the time at Talladega, and I was like, well, crap, I'm about to pass Adam, so it might be a good points night. So the next thing I know, I'm running third, and I think Hedgecock and Jake Knowles was first and second, and to be on the same straightaway with them at the time during the crate series, that was a pretty big deal. So, you know, that was definitely a good race, and that was the first time we had ever had our tires checked. And you know, I'd always heard stories about, well, simple green make you fail tire test and all that, and everything came back good. So we was like, man, that's, you know, I was on cloud 9. I really think that was kind of a momentum builder that year for us to finish off the championship that season. So after that race, I think we won like 6 in a row after that race. So
yeah,
that was a turning point for sure.
That was, yeah, definitely so. And that was the year we were still in the 06 GRT.
Yeah. So
that kind of goes back to like what that guy was asking about the Larry Shaw. Any car can win any night. It just depends on setup. And I think for years and years, we were pretty good with an 06 GRT. And then
the biggest thing about the older GRT was it was very hard to adjust with the track.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you went to the track, you pretty much had it set up for the feature, and you just kind of really winged it for qualifying a heat race, whatever. You just done the best you could, and it was hard. That car didn't like adjustments, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So
it didn't adjust. It didn't react
no,
well to them.
So, like, you know, we could take it to Magnolia, and at that those couple of years, Magnolia was slick from the get go. You know, all night long, and it done pretty good over there. But if we ever went over there and the track was hammered down, I was terrible. So.
What about that night at Magnolia when you nearly spun out in turn 1 and 2? He was running like second or third.
I was running second.
And nearly spun out and only fell back to like fourth, and I think ended up finishing third.
I was running second with like 2 or 3 laps to go. Of course, once again, I qualified in the back. If I could ever qualify decent, it'd been all right. But started like 10th, drove up second with about 2 or 3 to go. Went in turn 1, and I completely spun it out in turn 1. Spun into the infield, kept the car going.
He didn't completely spin it around, but he spun it sideways, and
yeah,
lost momentum.
I was definitely facing the wrong way of the track, but no caution come out, kept it going. Fell back to 4th and ended up getting back to 3rd within like 2 laps. So one of them things, the driver fell asleep, I guess.
Mm-hmm. We've been over to Magnolia and been really good with that car, and then we've been over there and been really. Which I would love to be able to get this Capital car over there and see what it's like. Which I know that's our hopes, is because Magnolia is one of our favorite racetracks.
Yeah. And why not? I like why not too. So
yeah, why not's a tricky. There's a why not story. Let's go ahead and tell the why not story. While we're telling stories, go ahead and tell it too.
Well, which one?
When you took the wall down and the transfer.
Well, we went over and tried to run these Smith races that weekend. Why not on Friday, Magnolia on Saturday. Of course, qualified like crap, but why not? Came through a heat race.
This was in the Rocket.
Yeah, came through a heat race. Was it in the heat race or was it in the B main?
I think it was in the B main.
Okay, so didn't make it in through the heat race. Had to run B main. Driver forgot where he was running at as far as position goes, and coming out of turn 2, I sent it and nailed the wall coming out of turn 2 all the way down back straight away, and finally come to a stop in turn 3 with nose up against the wall. And bad thing is, the car that I was trying to pass, I didn't need to pass because we was both in the show. So, yeah, I mean, you have it. It happens.
But you didn't take nobody else out. You just took yourself
out.
I
just wrecked myself.
And that's probably one of the harder lick. Well, that is the hardest lick you've ever had with the wall since I've been around.
Yeah, probably.
You've never really.
Let's not speak it up.
Okay, yeah, let's not do that. What there was something else I was gonna. Oh, how did your crew react that night? Do you remember?
I don't think I got to explain that. Everybody probably knows how it went down.
How does your crew usually react?
I don't know. All I heard was a bunch of beeps coming through the fence while I was still sitting in the car. So y'all can use your imagination there.
Is that how your crew always reacts when you do dumb stuff?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, man. All right.
There's a bunch of little kids just standing around going,
No, they weren't. Shut up. What did your first win feel like when you won?
I couldn't believe it. I won't ever forget it because it was the first race I ever bolted 4 new tires on. I never had a new tire a day in my life, and we bolted 4 tires on that night for the feature, and we went to the front.
We always, before then, bolt pull-offs from Tim Boucher.
Yeah, Boucher or, anybody around here that we could just get used tires from, and that's what we ran, and
it was usually him because he had some pretty good ones.
Yeah, finally decided that it's time to buy new tires, and made a difference. Yeah. Made a big difference.
New tires definitely make a difference. Which, we went out one time this year. We went out one time this year and said it was going to be a start and stop. When was it?
Boyd's topless outlaw race.
Yeah.
Topless outlaws.
I was because we bolted on older tires and we
Yeah.
went out and we were like, it's probably going to be a start and stop, and we ended up finishing.
That was the night we should have had a top 5, and a caution came out late, and I got stuck on the inside and shuffled back to like 6th, 7th, 8th, somewhere in there.
We were freaking good that night, and that's the best we've ever been at Boyd's. That's one of the biggest reasons we were like, let's keep going,
Right.
going back there. Let's see. Was there any issues when you sent the rack off?
No, the rack came back good. Rick did tell me some more stuff to check as far as our power steering pump and lines, etc. He said it is fresh. It's rebuilt, so we don't have any worries there. But there was nothing inside it that was alarming. So that was good news. But of course, now we got to search further for the vibration and the feeling that I was having. So a couple of people have actually told me that it may be the spud on the. Rick recommended checking the spud on the power steering, and the dry sump pump said that can start giving you a weird feeling. So once I get done with Dallas's car and get back to work on the race car, that'll be the first thing I check there.
Jack said, hey, everyone, hope all is well.
Hey, Jack.
We're great, Jack. Hope you're well as well. Somebody said, would love to see you run some MSSCS races next year, Pike County. That's a Mississippi State Series.
We actually looked at running one of them races at Magnolia this past year with the spec motor. I don't remember why we didn't go to that. We was gonna try it at Magnolia.
We were having problems or something.
Maybe that was one of them nights where No, it had rained all week, and we figured the track would be fast and heavy, and we knew we.
But that was when we started having the vibration and brake issues, wasn't it? We were having issues on top of other stuff. It might
have been, but
I'm
almost positive it had rained a lot that week, and we knew we didn't have the horsepower that we would need early in the night. So
somebody said, awesome show, thank you. We appreciate you watching.
Thank you.
Somebody said, how much does a 604 crate engine cost?
More
than what they used to.
Yeah, a lot more than they used to. You can find them online used anywhere from $500 to $7,500, depending on how used. You can find slightly used ones for about $9,000. Anywhere from about $8,000 to $9,000 to $10,000, depending on what all they come with. And then a brand new one, I think straight from GM, they're like $8,000 now. So, and that's just basically a bare motor. So.
And they used to be like what, 6, and then a 602 was like $3,500.
Yeah, something like that. They're a lot cheaper than what they are now. I can promise you.
Coop said, "How much money do you make?" That's my little 11-year-old nephew.
Not enough.
Not enough, buddy. Not enough. But anyway, do we have any more?
What was that one?
Oh, I completely skipped over that one, didn't I? What did you win for the championship at Talladega?
I'm not sure yet. I imagine they'll probably have a banquet probably after the first of the year.
Usually it's in January, February.
Yeah, that's normally what they do, and then we'll find out from there. Years past, it has always been, just whatever it is to win a weekly race. So $600 just to win a weekly race, that's what you got to win a championship. I imagine Adam has probably changed that.
Hopefully.
I've heard, I think some people were saying last year that he did, so that's not confirmed, but we'll see.
Patrick said, would you rather run 604 or Super?
Every week, 604, just for the cost side of things. If we could pick and choose a couple Super races, I wouldn't be against that. Just the cost of Super racing every week, I think, is just, at this time, is just out of the question.
But and the thing too with that is supers are not raced on a weekly basis anywhere around here. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're racing big shows,
yeah.
and a lot of times those big shows are at places we've never been. We don't have a notebook for. Don't know what to expect. So the only way you're going to get better and good at those places is to go and build your notebook and get some laps. And the bad thing about going to big races a lot of times is they may have 30, 40 cars, but they're only starting 24. So if you're not making all them laps, you're not building a notebook. So, uh, it's like I said earlier, it's back to knowledge and support and all of that. So
Somebody said, "How long did it take you to get your anxiety down when close quarter racing? When close quarter racing was happening? Because I'm still having problems with that."
uh, I don't guess it's kind of hard to say. I mean, I don't know if I ever really paid that much close attention to it. You know what I'm saying?
I would probably say around 14. It probably took you a year or two because
I mean, I don't.
because even like 12 and 13 he was still learning and you could still tell he was timid. He wasn't going to stick his nose where it
So
didn't need to be. 14's when he kind of opened up and I feel like flowered out and was like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Let's go.
But I wouldn't necessarily say that it was, as far as being anxious, being close to somebody. It was just more or less me not knowing the boundaries of the car.
Right. Well, and two, you're not a very anxious person either.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just.
That's kind of why I was like, I don't guess I ever really paid that close of attention to it. I guess.
Yeah, but to kind of answer that question, it probably took him a year or two to get comfortable.
Just the learning curve of the car is what I would say, to a year or two.
Right. Just and you know what you're capable of, and you don't know what somebody else. And even now.
That still gets me now. If that's what you're talking about.
Even now, he's nearly been taken out several times as the leader by lap cars. And you could tell when he's around those cars, he's like, "Oh God."
Yeah, I back it up, and then there's people that they're gonna hold a line, and you can go around them and not have to worry about any of that. So it's it's just a learning curve, I guess.
That's probably you just kind of have to learn and know who you're racing with, and that'll probably once you start building a trust for those people, it'll probably be a lot easier. If I had to guess, I'm not a race car driver. So
I mean that was a really hard question for me to answer. I didn't really know an answer to that.
Yeah, sometimes I have to help him.
Well, I think
special.
I think they all know that.
Also, even though I hated going there, I hated to hear about Marvin passing away. Prayers for his family.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I didn't care nothing about going there or anything like that, but I agree. That was definitely shocking to see and hear about. And thoughts and prayers are definitely to all of his family and friends.
Yeah, I think that was something that was very unexpected from what I gather. So definitely praying for them. I can keep up the good questions. I can keep the good questions coming. Glad somebody is, Patrick. We're struggling with questions tonight. Favorite track by state, Alabama.
Alabama would definitely be Talladega for the success.
And really, that's one thing we struggle with in Alabama is tracks.
Tracks, yeah.
There's not a whole lot of racetracks in Alabama.
No.
Good racetracks.
Used to like Green Valley, but can't say that no more.
That's a bond. Mississippi.
Magnolia.
Tennessee. That's a tough one.
I've only been there once, so it's hard to say 411, but I did enjoy it the one time we went. I liked Smoky Mountain because it was big, fast. It was hammer down. There was some things I didn't like about it that didn't have nothing to do with the racing surface. Would you consider Boyd's to be in Tennessee or Georgia?
Georgia.
Okay, so I like Mountain View as far as the facilities. I hate we didn't get to make it up there this past year, but that's one track I like. So,
but the track at Mountain View is kind of hard to race on.
The times we've been up there, though, it's just always been a one-lane track where you got to run the bottom and you can't really pass. So,
as far as racing,
Oh, man. I would say 411. I mean, I've only been there once, but I would say 411.
411 Racing Surface, Mountain View Facilities.
Yeah, that'd be an awesome combination.
All right. That would be. Put that together. Ooh.
And about 2 hours closer.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like at the Tennessee state line.
What about Georgia?
Well, Georgia, we've been to Sonoa, Dixie,
North Georgia.
And Boyd's.
Years ago, though, North Georgia was in 13.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Out of those tracks, I think if I could figure it out, I think Sonoa would be up there. But I haven't been over there enough to get it figured out or have enough experience over there. But for right now, I would say Boyd's. That track has always been very tough for me. It's very challenging. And I hope one day I'm able to figure it out and at least conquer it one time. So.
Yeah, I definitely have to say, as far as Georgia, Boyd's is my favorite. I wasn't a fan of Sonoa, but I think it's just because it kicked our tail so bad.
And it's 3.5 hours away.
Yeah, it's a long way. Long way. He said, I seen him pass somebody on the inside of the Ute tires at Talladega. Of course, the car was a little beat up.
Who?
I don't know. Patrick said that.
I don't know.
We have no memory.
I guess I lost that memory.
We have no memory. Smoky Mountain has or is being chopped down to a smaller size.
Yes, I'm definitely interested in seeing how that goes. I think it. I don't know. It could go either way, really. I don't think it's going to hurt the racing, just because that place was so big and so fast, and cars are so aero dependent right now, which I can see why he's saying that he wants to do that. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how it goes.
Well, that night we were racing up there, and Jed Emmert, what did he do?
Broke the left rear
hub or something.
Slap off the car, and I mean it was.
And he was hauling the mail before he done it.
And honestly, now looking back and thinking about this past year, that night was super rough. And it was super fast. And I really think that might have been where a lot of our problems later on in the year came from. Because we were on that track that was so rough and so fast. And I mean, you had to run to the rough stuff to be fast. So, I think that, looking back on it, I think that might have been where our problems later on in the year came from, and they just never showed up till maybe the temperatures started cooling down and the track started getting a little bit faster around here. So
right. Dale said, "How are you guys doing tonight?" We're doing great. He said, "How's the rat rod project coming along?"
It ain't moved since the video. So.
What you seen in the video is all the way done.
Hard time finding 14-inch used tires, so.
We're getting lazy in this off season too.
Yeah.
We gotta get outside, which we will tomorrow. We're gonna work on my car. There will be a YouTube video coming out with that.
Mechanic Brad.
Probably Thursday or Friday. We're actually leaving to go on vacation Friday, so it'll come out one of those days. Do you think that track in Tennessee, I can't remember the name of it, but the one that I broke my face on the trailer and it rained out, but would you say that that was the fastest track you've been on?
Thunderhill. I would say that's the fastest track I have ever been on, yes.
That was a scary racetrack. When we pulled in, I know my eyes were huge because I was like, what? I mean, you had seen pictures, but until you see this place in person, you're like, holy cow.
And the bad thing is, Taz was way bigger than that. So
we know how I'm not a fan of that place because
I've never seen Tazewell in person, and I mean Tazewell's so far from us. I don't know if I will ever see it in person, but
I'm not a fan of those really fast. They scare me. Which there was a point in time too when me and Brad when we first started dating, we went to Green Valley, and I swore to him when we saw somebody climb the fence, hit the wall. I can't remember who was that.
Was it Jackson Hale?
Jackson Hale. He nailed the wall and coming through 3 and 4. And I swore then, I told Brad, I said, you will never race here. And we were there probably 3
Was
weeks.
it Jackson Hale or was it James Klein?
I think it was Jackson Hale.
It was one of the two. I can't remember which one it was.
Because I don't remember ever watching James Klein. I think it was Jackson Hale.
It might have been. I don't remember.
I'm sure Jackson would remember it.
I'm sure.
That was a pretty wild ride right there. But I swore he'd never race on that racetrack, and he was there probably a month later. So we see how that goes.
She don't always get her way.
Most of the time I do, though. Have you always ran the same number, 27?
No, when I first started, I started out with 15, and that's because that was my number in football during high school. I always had 15 there, but I started out racing, and that was what I had on it then was 15 because that was my football number. And then there was 1 year, was it the first year I got the late model? The GRT? No, I run 27. Yeah, I run 27 the very first year.
Yeah, you changed when we got
So
together.
I got a wrap. One of the cars that my dad had built, one of the Camaros that he built, was like a kind of a metallic blue car. It was a real sharp looking car. And the very first wrap we had on the GRT, it was supposed to be kind of like a throwback to it. And we went ahead and swapped over to 27. And from there on, it just kind of stuck. Instead of changing numbers back and forth every year, we just stayed with 27, and that's been what it was ever since.
I mean, realistically, though, 27 has a lot more meaning than 15. 15 was just a number you picked. 27 was a number that your dad ran. So.
Well, he had 27 because that was what he was in football, too. So.
But it still came from your dad. So, I mean, that's still a little bit more meaningful. Okay, anyway. Dale said, well, that's what I do for a living, restore old cars. I do all the metal work and fab.
Did not know that.
That's a pretty cool job to have right there.
I think that would be an awesome job to have.
Instead of doing signs.
I can't say that.
At the county.
Can't say that.
Let's see. Bad Fast Ties is on my bucket list.
I wouldn't mind going to watch in person, but I think I seen somebody throw a comment up there that said it's a good place to junk a race car too. So that's kind of more or less the reason why I'm not like gung ho about going.
Yeah, as somebody said, it's fast and fun, but so easy to junk a car.
Right.
We ain't got.
Just like Bristol. I mean, I would love to go to Bristol, but there's no way my race car would be on Bristol because of that reason right there.
Mm-hmm. You've seen a lot of people junk race cars.
Right, and it's not necessarily somebody's fault. It's just that you're carrying so much speed, and these cars are not built for that. Maybe like a street stock or something. Yeah, I could see that because they're a little bit more beefier built, but they're still going to tear some crap up too. So
yeah,
I mean, I would love to go for the experience and to say, hey, we went around Bristol, but my car won't ever be there.
At a track like that, talking about Thunder Hill, can you feel the G-forces inside the car?
Oh, gosh, yeah, for sure. That night we went, we run like, what, two or three hot laps and then 2 qualifying laps. Then it got rained out. And, I mean, just those 4, 5, 6 laps that I had, I mean, it was definitely the craziest feeling I'd ever had in a car. So, you can definitely, it pins you over and pins you back for sure. What?
I kept hearing. That's what it was. I was like, dang, is there a dog growling or something somewhere? It's your chair.
My belly.
Your belly is not growling. All right, guys. So that may wrap us up. I think we're pretty much answered all the questions. Sorry if I skipped over any. Apologize.
I'm not sure why the comments from last week's live video didn't stay up. That way, if we did miss any, we could go back and watch. I'm not sure why it did that. I've read that there's a little button here that you got to click when you're done and all that. So we're going to check that out when we end this video. That way, hopefully it will save the comments. And if we did miss any, we can go back and answer them or either answer them next week, one of the two. So if we did miss your comments, make sure you comment and let us know. And maybe we'll quit missing them from then on. So.
And we aren't 100% sure how we're going to continue doing this live. We really enjoy doing it on YouTube because we do get a whole lot of feedback. and we haven't quite got the Patreon stuff figured out just yet.
Patreon is tricky. It is very tricky.
It doesn't show us any comments. It doesn't show us if anybody's watching on live. So it's kind of like you're talking to yourself over there.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. So we're not 100% sure how we're going to continue doing this, but we do have our Patreon. We do update there more often. I posted a picture yesterday when we got our rack back as soon as we got it back. So you do see a little bit more up-to-date stuff, quicker stuff than, because it does usually take us a day or two to edit YouTube videos. Sometimes a little bit quicker than that, but generally speaking, that's about how long it takes us. But anyway, check us out on Patreon if you haven't already. That's going to finish us up for tonight. We appreciate all you guys watching. We appreciate everybody commenting.
Where'd the hats go? Oh.
Oh, there. Hope you have a good night as well, Jack. Remember, appreciate you all. Thanks for sharing with us. Thank you for watching. We wouldn't have a reason to do this if you guys didn't watch us.
BarryApparelCo.com. Get your new hats. They're on the website. They're stocked up. And be on the lookout for some new t-shirts. We got some design work in the progress. Good Lord, what in the world did I just say? We got a design in the works. So hopefully that can be coming out here pretty soon.
Patrick had one last question.
Oh boy.
He said, wait. What does Brad think about the situation going on the plains, talking about Auburn football?
You know, I was very, very excited for Cadillac. That him and Ronnie Brown was probably two of my favorite players that have ever came through Auburn. Still got the jersey that I've got where Carnell autographed it back when he was at Auburn. So I was very excited to see them give him the opportunity. Unfortunately, I kind of expect them to not necessarily look over him, but I just don't think he's going to have the experience to where they're going to say, hey, we need to hire him as a head coach. I'm not saying that would be the right choice right this second.
I love Cadillac.
But I did enjoy seeing the energy and the fire that he brought to the sideline last weekend. It's been a long time since I've seen any kind of coach, not just at Auburn, any coach in general showed that kind of emotion, that kind of energy.
He constantly was talking to his players and pumping them up.
In my opinion, I felt like it was kind of a breath of fresh air. I hope he does great these next 3 games. Obviously, y'all probably hope he don't do too good in one of them. But, like I said, I hope he does good. And if they think he can get the job done, I think, I think that would be a good fit if he could get the job done. So
that would be a storybook ending.
I wouldn't be against it, and I wouldn't be against the other 2 or 3 coaches that everybody's claiming is the top of the list either. So
yeah,
any of them I don't think would be a bad thing. It's not Tennessee orange; it's safety orange.
Somebody said, what's Patreon? So Patreon basically is like a paid membership. There's several different tiers that you can pay. And you're basically kind of a partner of ours. And we just kind of give you a little more inside scoop.
www.patreon.com/daysofdirt with BBR.
You just see a little bit more over there than what we can show on YouTube.
Yeah, the $25 one, it comes with, did you say a t-shirt?
It comes with a t-shirt after 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what it is, Patrick. Is OnlyFans for YouTube people. So
except you're fully clothed.
Yeah, there's just nothing that you're not going to want to see. I can promise you that. So,
it's just racing content.
Yeah. But that hits the nail on the head. Exactly what it is.
Yeah, you get a little more inside scoop. But anyway, that's going to finish us up tonight. We appreciate all of you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. We will see you back next Wednesday, either here or on Patreon. See you guys.
See you guys. Oh, crap. Wrong button. There we go.